So if you were to lose a race win by putting the car in the gravel, which I have definitely done throughout my career, I just honestly feel that's a big part of learning. You know, you go through racing, there's so many ups and downs in this sport, typically more downs than there are ups, and in a moment like that, you just really have to analyze what happened, how you ended up in the gravel.
It's mental, right? Like totally mental attitude. Like, yes, you've made a mistake. You're never ever going to make that mistake again. And you just have to get over it and move on. And you have to believe in yourself that you won't make that mistake again. You have to believe that, look, we've all made silly mistakes and we've all messed up some really good results.
We all have really tough moments when you make a mistake and you can lose a race like that. But you just have to put it behind you. You know, there's a time to reflect and to accept the mistake that you've made, understand why you've made it.
You have to analyse what you did wrong and why, and make sure that you don't fall into that trap again. It all goes into the experience bank at the end of the day. Analyse, don't dwell on, you know, in the sorrow of a mistake or anything like that. It is what it is. You can't change it usually.
I've been around motorsport enough. I've been through a lot of tough times. I think when I was younger, I really did go through some moments where I was kind of doubting myself and wasn't in the environment that allowed me to thrive. For me, it has a lot to do with environment. I would have to say that I've been in motorsport for 25 years. I started karting very young, and I've experienced a lot of different teams and challenges. And I have to say that the environment you put yourself in has a huge impact on performance.
Self-belief is a really important one, and just recognizing that you've done the work to get to where you are, you've had success as a driver in the past, and you haven't changed. You know, your talent doesn't leave you overnight, and you should be confident in your abilities, even if you're making a few mistakes here and there.
Yeah, the thing in racing is you're never better than your last race, but it also makes you look at the next race in the same way. So when you arrive at the next race, you reset everything. If you won the last one, if you lost the last one, you believe in yourself and you make the best out of it. I think getting back to your confidence is always remembering why you're here. There's very limited amount of seats for pro drivers, and we're all here for a reason.
If you do start doubting yourself or you know, lacking some self-confidence, then you just look at yourself. Are you doing everything that you can? Are you working out as much as you can be? Are you working with your engineers as much as you can be? Are you studying the data and the video and being well enough prepared for the races? And if you are ticking all those boxes, you know, the physical side of it, the mental side of it, and the information side is analysing and preparing, then you're doing everything you can. So you should have great self-confidence and use that to know that you're going to be better prepared than the guy who's sat next to you in your main competition.
You need to be able to switch off. I don't care what this person thinks. I don't care what happened in the past. This is the goal. I know I can do it. And you just have to kind of persuade yourself of that. Be mentally tough enough and strong enough to do that.
Some people like to have a big support network around them. Some people like to go off and spend an hour on their own. You've got to figure out what's best for you on that front. For myself, I tend to be the sort of leave me alone for half an hour and I'll bounce back kind of approach. But yeah, you've got to know yourself. You've got to know how to get the best out of yourself in those cases. You've got to have people around you that know that too, and either respect that privacy that you need or come in and give you the pep talk that you need.
Yeah, having supportive people around you helps a lot in racing. So if you have a great team, great mechanics, you know they believe in you, teammates believing in you and trusting in your job when you're in the car, it obviously helps a lot and gives you a huge confidence boost.
Certainly off track and on track can get mixed. I mean, we all have personal lives, although we try to do our best to separate the two. I really try to keep my personal life separate and take time for myself. And when I'm away from the track, I really try to do activities that make me not think about motorsports. When I was younger, I was way too caught up in trying to overthink constantly in between weekends, and you just kind of get in this death spiral that you kind of start mentally hurting yourself. So just trying to separate those two as much as possible is a big challenge, but a very important aspect for a lot of drivers, especially young drivers. I think that's something they should be in tune with.
Famous sports men and women have had dips in form, and you never quite know what's going on off track. So yeah, as an athlete, as a driver, you always want to be focusing on your fitness, on your health as much as you possibly can. Life can be life outside of racetracks. Once you get here, it's just do what you can to shut all that out and focus on the job at hand.
And if you come into the weekend slightly tired or drained because you've had a lot on in the week, of course it's going to have a negative effect on your racing. So I feel like in racing you do have to be selfish as individuals. If there is stuff going on like that, you really have to try your best to remove yourself from those scenarios. We don't get many chances and opportunities in racing. It's not like tennis, soccer, where you can play multiple times per week. It's typically sort of 6 to 10 races a season, so you've got to make sure you make the most of those weeks and go in as prepared as you can.
I think in every sport it's been proven beneficial to have a mental coach. Not necessarily It doesn't have to look like a therapist or, you know, a sports psychologist or however you get that done. I mean, it could be just like another friend or a race car driver that's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt and knows all the things that you're going through, and they can help you sort it out mentally.
But really, they're just basics that everyone should know in day-to-day life. You know, staying calm, taking a breath when you need to, getting your head in the right space before a big race.
When I was a member of the Racing Steps Foundation who funded my junior career, they sent me to a sports psychologist called Don McPherson, who was absolutely fantastic, helped me a lot. He always gave me a great saying which sticks to me to this day, is that chuck it in the bucket and move on, because you don't want to dwell on the past too much and let it get you caught up.
And honestly, when you're 18 or whatever, you're like, I don't need a mental coach, I'm good, and you don't want to admit weakness in any way, shape or form. But when you get to know yourself as you get older and you do more seasons and more seasons, then you realize, I'm really good at this. I probably should look at how I do this better. And you just know that you want to give yourself every advantage possible to be the best version of yourself that you can be.